Alright then, so currently for Rate of Gaming there is a login bug for some people, and I sadly am one of the people suffering it, so I can't update the tier list on the website. Elements is gone, for the tournament at the moment, so I have to wait for him to get back before it can be fixed. So I'll just go on with this tier list right here in this video. First thing I'd like to tell you right now is that not a lot has changed, so I'm going to go and rant about characters, even if they, changes or anything, even if they were from the last patch, if they had any effect. Some changes right now, not many. Here we go. Okay, right off the bat I'll tell you she's bottom of tier 2. She doesn't do anything relatively impressive, and she's got more flaws than she's got pros. Her pros consist of being pretty highly sustained. Look at her passive, helps her out. She's got, good auto attack damage and built-in steroids and the like. However, she's pretty awful at ganking and slow as hell. So that's kind of an offset, and a pretty big offset. She can farm all she wants, but then she won't be able to assist anybody, and she's slow. She's a weaker Master Yi. Her ultimate, when it comes to ganking, is very short range, and sure, she's got gap closers, but by that time the enemy has already put himself in a position to withstand it or get you killed. So I don't think she's that great at jungling. She can do some things, but not as impressive as others, and even a step down, not as impressive as those those above her. So she's like several layers worse than some other junglers. So she's a far better laner. She beats a lot of characters in the lane, and I think that's where she belongs, and she should stay out of the jungle and leave it to Master Yi. So I kind of enjoy that factor. It's like Master Yi, I like Master Yi more than I like her, but if I were to lane, I'd pick her. But if I were to jungle, I'd pick Master Yi. So we got an AD carry that can lane and an AD carry that can jungle. Oh, people will say, oh, you can lane as Master Yi. No, against anybody competent, you'll get crushed. You can just lane AP. Then you're fucking AP, and then you're going to be useless later. So yeah, Fiora is definitely a laner, not a jungler, she's pretty weak at that. The right things for her aren't there. Like sustain and being slower is fine for some characters, but not for an AD carry who has to get farmed and do stuff. So lane, definitely for her. Alright, now this one is where it gets annoying. For starters, I don't like being told, you should remake this video, Stonewall. I already know which videos I should remake. If anything, Trindamir's the one that needs to be fixed again, not Olaf. Olaf's buffs didn't do shit. They didn't really increase his speed by any, if at all. They didn't do anything. It's like those buffs that were made, in my strong opinion, just to get people to notice Olaf again. Because Olaf isn't weak. He wasn't weak. He didn't need those buffs. He needed different buffs, mostly mobility ones. Mostly because his axe does a stupid animation that sometimes gets him screwed. And he gets kited even with his ultimate. His ultimate does not guarantee he won't get kited. He needed the mobility buffs, not these. These were just here because usually the community follows this thing. Oh, if something gets buffed, it must be better. We should start using it again. Oh my god, this guy's so good. The buffs really helped. When they actually didn't do anything for him, you just paid attention to him and finally realized, holy crap, he's strong. He's still strong. And man, I'm stupid for not having my own goddamn decency to check out a character and practice it until I'm told to or tricked into. Olaf is strong. He's probably one of the strongest, duelists in the game. His matchups in the jungle are one of the best. He will fucking tear anyone to pieces. Given the fact that they don't use the amplifiers against him of him being weak in the jungle, like low health, and even then that's a funny point. Funny thing now, he doesn't have to be low health to jungle as fast or as well as he used to. The new jungle's pathetic, and that axe just tears him to pieces. He just gets blue buff and eat everything alive. So Olaf, don't ask for a new video for him. It's the same damn thing. He's always been powerful. You guys got tricked into playing him again, and it's good riddance because he's good, and you should have given him a chance a long time ago. Now, this is one question people have been asking me, and even on the forums, not directly at me. Maokai versus Nautilus. And this is actually a valid question, because they're kind of the same thing. They're both ganking junglers, they both have some good AoE, and they both transition into tanks, initiators, and the like. Well, what I can tell you that in my opinion, Maokai definitely has the lead. Now let's just break it down. Early game versus early game. Maokai jungles faster, that's for sure. Ganks easier. Easier is the key point here. Ganks easier, recovers faster, has more damage up front and earlier, and can duel slightly better. They're both pretty meh at that versus other junglers. So, Nautilus is pretty fine ganker, but it's pretty difficult to do that early on, especially with all those wards and without his ultimate. Maokai's W. It's pretty much, clicked it, and that's it. It's pretty easy. And he's got, Shroud Reveal with his little Pikmin, his Qs, low cooldown AoE damage, stun knockups, quote unquote stun. So early game, definitely Maokai's. Nautilus, not a weak contender, but just Maokai's definitely better. Mid game, this is where it gets a little bit better. I think Nautilus has the edge in mid game. Nautilus's ultimate is just far at this point in the game far outweighs Maokai's AoE thing. It doesn't do much that early, so I think Nautilus's ultimate is just a badass AoE CC. It's just helpful for the team fights you're likely going to have already, and Nautilus starts picking up, his scaling off his abilities and starting to get a lot better with very few items. Maokai still pretty much squishy. He's got no, self steroids. So some defense steroids compared to Nautilus, and so I think that's where bites him in the ass. Maokai can initiate, but probably die as a result, or he won't die as a result, just die faster than Nautilus, in my opinion. Nautilus has the edge, if not as great as Maokai has the edge in an early game, so Maokai would still technically be in the lead. Then it comes to late game. This is where it's a little harder to, argue for either side. Maokai's ultimate finally picks up steam, and it does a lot more versus certain team comps, and with certain team comps, and it's AoE damage guaranteed. As long as you're in the circle, of course. He can initiate, he's got his items, all that good stuff. They're both, pretty item independent. They can buy whatever the hell they want. Nautilus is the same as he is in mid-game, just a lot stronger. His AoE ultimate is still amazing. He's got a lot of control, a lot of, team fight control. He's got initiation. They're both pretty good here. So it's kind of hard to say who has the edge against the other. So I think this is where it's irrelevant, because Nautilus will work better with some team comps, while Maokai will work better versus some team comps. So it's like, if there's any edge over the other, it's pretty much negligible. So given that Maokai, because he won early game so well, I think Maokai has the edge. Now here's one I want to talk about. Kayle. Not because she's going up any higher or any lower, it's because people are stupid as fuck. I'm pretty much tired of people going, someone doesn't know how to play Jungle Kayle. He's making her out to be worse than she is. No, I have a bunch of games with Jungle Kayle. If I could load up my low replay and show you. It's just the thing is, she doesn't do anything better than anybody else, and there's very justification to using her. Like, you could use her as a flavor pick all you want, but it isn't making her any better than she is. She needs help. They nerfed her too much. I mean, I like Kayle as a character. I played her since beta. I have her skins. Like, I totally love her fucking ultimate. She's amazingly cool that way. But in the jungle, she doesn't do anything. It's like, people can go, oh, she's pretty fast. Okay, so there's a lot of other better characters who end up doing more. She's not tier 1. She's not tier 2. I regret putting her in tier 2 some while ago. She's got damage. I'll give her that. She's got pretty high damage. However, that damage isn't, fast. It's sustained, and by that, people can juke a lot of her damage just by going to the bush. She can be juked very easily because of that. It's really annoying. That makes her ineffective in jungle duels and gets her easily killed. She's fragile. She's clunky. She doesn't move that well. She doesn't move fast. Like, her W is pretty useless, and I don't really reason why you level that crap. And generally, it's just she's not that good just because of that. She's clunky as hell, slow, sluggish, and gets killed easily. She gets juked, and I don't like that. And her builds are just weird as hell. She's snowball reliant, and I hate that. Nocturne suffered the same thing as Jarvan did. They got nerfed, and people thought nerfs are bad. This character must be bad. So they stopped using him. Then they realized, and then like slowly people realized like, oh, let's see all the characters that got nerfed. Rumble, oh no, he's still fucking good. Let's use him. Yorick, he's still fucking good. Let's use him. Jarvan, yeah, he's starting to see more play. Yeah, he's really good. And Nocturne's the same deal. We've seen him used a little bit more than he used to for us a little in some tournaments a while ago. Yeah, Nocturne's returning because people are realizing Nocturne is strong, and he still will be strong, and he, like his design, unless they purposely break him, will forever be strong. So he's starting to rise up even in my tier list a little bit more, and who knows, I may end up putting him in God tier soon, or eliminating the God tier altogether, just making a big old tier 1 section, or adding another tier, who knows. But yeah, Nocturne is definitely someone you should consider using again, especially if you're a fan of Shaco. You want to use someone who isn't, going to fail late game. I mean, doesn't have to resort just, side pushing. Okay, and the next one's gonna be a bitter rage, and you'll see. Now, this one is a bit of a rager, like I just mentioned. A rager against a dumbass. And now this is probably gonna make things worse, but I'm gonna have fun with it while I crash and burn. So, a while ago, I changed the criteria of how the junglers were ranked. I counted matchups alongside the regular criteria, basically adding another aspect. And it caused 3 junglers to be raised to God tier. Alright. Then somebody, arrogantly posted, "Oh, glad to see you have Trundle in God tier now. I'm glad to know I was right all along." Because this same person argued that Trundle should be God tier before, when the criteria wasn't set up to allow someone like Trundle to be up there. Because, he had some minor issues compared to the other ones who were mostly flawless. Give or take. Give or take, one-upping each other in the same area. So there. Trundle couldn't get up there, but he was very damn close to it. But he just didn't have that nudge. The criteria changed, and it changed a lot of characters' positions. Cho'Gath, for instance, got dropped down. The added criteria, basically served as, either extra credit for some characters, or that PE class that, Fatty Cho'Gath didn't show up to, and it affected his GPA. So, like, Trundle himself got boosted to God tier status because of that. If I were to right now remove that criteria, then he'd go back down to where he originally was. It's like if I added a criteria about, characters with the most skins are going to be raised higher, then Teemo would somehow find himself going up higher than he actually should be. But that's a stupid criteria. It's a pointless criteria. But if I decide to have added it, it'd be criteria nonetheless. Depends on how much I give it away. So let's say if I give, like I mentioned, I'm giving dueling some weighing on their position, but not as much as some of the other aspects. So it's a ratio. It's some kind of formula. I did post it on Reign of Gaming. You can try to find it. So the thing is, Trundle, the guy is boasting, "Oh my god, I knew more than Stonewall. He's a dumbass. I called Trundle being gutty." No, didn't call him correctly. He changed. The criteria changed. It's just like if the Jungle remake, I had to change the entire how everything I graded. Same when Dragon started, you couldn't solo it anymore. I gotta change that too. Changes happen, so therefore positions are shifted around. And the best part about all this is Trundle was ranked 4 of all the junglers before the criteria changed, and he's still number 4 after the criteria changed. It just means it makes sense for him now to be considered a god tier.